Good morning. I find myself outside in this frigid weather before 8 o'clock, not because I'm heading out to placement or anything, but because, having family over today, just need to, you know, get a few things from the corner store. So, as you could see from that picture there in the corner, a Canadian was sent to prison for the downplay of the Holocaust. You wouldn't believe it, but you see how someone can and find themselves imprisoned if they dare to downplay or downgrade the Holocaust or minimize the suffering of Jewish people during the Holocaust movement in Germany and other places as well. That was the reason why Black People United for Change and other organizations who were like minded started to push the petition that was read into the House of Commons on the 18th of September on Parliament Hill, was so that we could have the same protection when we're called Uyghurs or anti-Black racism or slavery is brushed off and also minimized. And I want to tell you that you might say, yeah, well, they're white people or they're not black, so it came easy for them. Let me tell you straight up, it didn't come easy for them. In the 1940s, I researched that more than 900 Jewish people were refused entry into Canada. There were restrictive immigration policies in place that prohibited the Jewish people from finding refuge in Canada, and they were refused entry. More than 900 were sent back to Europe. And it wasn't until 2022, so that's 3 years ago, when Canada became fully committed to preserving the awful memory of the Holocaust and used legislative reform to combat anti Semitism. As a matter of fact, Canada allocated $5.6 million to stretch out over a 5 year span to continue to combat anti Semitism. What do we have as a people? Jewish people struggled nearly as much as we have in Canada. But I'll tell you something that they did that we refuse to do as Black people here. We refuse to unite as one people. When organizations or individuals make an effort to say, look, if it was possible for the Jewish people who face atrocity, who face restrictive immigration policies and exclusion, just like we did, to stand up and continue to fight their fight in Canada, started in 1940. That's older than my mom and my dad, yo. And they did it. And they got their victory 3 years ago. And even today, you could never dare to try to minimize the Holocaust. But everybody gets away with denying that anti Black racism exists. You can say, oh, that slavery was so long ago, get over it. Try that with the Jewish community, and you'll find yourself in prison. And as a true freedom fighters are always happy when victory or success is achieved, even if that victory belongs to another ethnic group. And I'm happy that you can't walk around minimizing the suffering of other human beings. Yet at the same token, I'm sad because of the failure of black people to want to unite and stop looking at popularity, clout, and being jealous and afraid that, gee, if so and so achieve so and so, they're going to be more popular than me. Or I'm not bothering with so and so. Look, she only has X amount of followers. When are we going to get past those things? We party so much, but exactly what are we celebrating? It's okay to minimize slavery and deny anti black racism in Canada because there's no law or legislation that holds anybody accountable when they do so. And that's what the petition was all about. And a lot of black Canadians, organizations, and black politicians, MPPs, and what have you, that share the same melanin as me and you refuse to sign, refuse to participate, and refuse to support, all because of ego, bad mind, jealousy, and fear of another black person getting ahead. When one Negro fails, we all fail. When one black person gets through the door, we're all going through the door. Won't you feel good to know that no one could call you a nigger and nobody could tell you that your ancestors being in chains and enslaved is no big deal and it was so long ago to get over it? Isn't that what we all wish to see? Another thing, I'm going to ask you to research and tell me how many people of Jewish ethnicity are known worldwide where movies are made, like the Fred Hampton movie, where they betrayed and assisted the Germans to annihilate and kill their own activists, like what happened to Fred Hampton and so many others. You know what? Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Patrice Lumumba, Fred Hampton, so many activists and freedom fighters have been preaching that the way to achieve real justice can only be accomplished to unity. Now, look how many people slander us online, at work, in person, in the stores, and tell us to get over slavery, the horrificness that's associated with slavery. How many of them are going to jail? The question we have to ask ourselves is, why is it that we fight each other? The difference between us, the Jewish, the LGBTQ, and the indigenous is that they fight their oppressors, but us, we fight each other. We fight each other and continue to keep each other down. And that's what that petition that many of you refuse to sign, or because I'm not popular or whatever, I don't have a bag of following and people normally scroll on by, you refuse to sign. When are we going to have that real celebration, something to party about and jump up in the streets and whatever? When will it be our turn that somebody is sent to prison for minimizing the suffrage of our people? Well, it's never going to happen if people continue to move in the way that they move. You see the difference between us, why it looks hopeless and next to nil of seeing someone sent to prison for minimizing the Holocaust? Because our war is waged within. Until that war is waged without, we are always going to be standing on the side of the minimized, the disregarded, and the insignificant. And that is just the way it is. Bless up and have a wonderful day today.